So my first question is, what is to you a woman of influence? I mean, you've always spoken about business, but what are your viewpoints on women?
My viewpoints on women is, it's funny. My viewpoints on women are exactly the same as my viewpoints on men. They're human beings that run the world, and I think I'm intrigued by the notion of the conversation of anything, men, women, minorities. To me, I think it's pretty binary. I think it's humans versus other animals. So, I understand the differences. I think there's unbelievable amounts of advantages for all sexes, all races. To me, I'm optimistic about that. For me, I think that, I always tell entrepreneurs and really people, embrace your differences because they're your advantages. So for me, I always believe being an immigrant was a huge advantage for me. Being born in a communist country, huge advantage for me. And so, really, I don't ever have a great answer for other than I think there's a lot of advantages to being a woman and that you should figure those out and execute against them.
Great. So what are some of the myths that you have come across? I mean, having dealt with such a big company right now, you're such a big team. What are some of the myths and obstacles that people face in terms of growing the power of influence?
I think that I don't think a lot of people think about influence. I think that I think it's natural. There's a lot of words we use for it: charisma, popularity. To me, the thing that I'm surprised by is how many people don't realize that your interpersonal skill set is probably the biggest variable to your happiness and success in life. One of the things I spend a lot of time thinking about is how incredibly naive it is to not be kind, to not be empathetic, to not be grateful. It's so obvious that good human traits are ROI positive to the person that deploys them, and yet so many people come from a place of insecurity and weakness and are unable to overcome that and then deploy very poor human characteristics.
And leveraging on social media for the influence part, you said that earlier on in your Q&A, you said a lot of people don't have the patience these days. What have you got to say about that? I mean, the steps and strategies for people to not say grow their patience, but what can they do more?
I mean, look, I think that I'm a very big fan of looking at history. All the answers have been in front of your face the whole time. There are literally very few people in the history of time that have created meaningful businesses in less than a decade. Of 10 years, hard work, incredibly smart, perfect timing, and yet so many entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs think miraculously they're going to be the person that gets it done in 2 or 3 years. So, what I would tell people is instead of thinking you're going to be the once in a generation person that bucks the trends of how much time and effort and smarts and hard work it takes to being successful, why don't you look at the 20 plus years it took Amazon to get here and start realizing this shit takes a lot of hard work and a lot of time.
When you were doing Wine Library for your 1,000 episodes, which I've also done 1,000 episodes of live streaming because of you.
Good for you.
Yeah, and our community has grown to 8,000 members.
Good for you.
So, but a lot of women are holding back. What advice can you give them to my community? Because I'm still pushing them, because Asia, we are a little bit more conservative.
This is a very tough question because this is universal. Women have it tougher than men, 100%. Minorities have it even tougher than that. Income level is something we don't talk about enough about. So, and then unbelievable amounts of white men are insecure as well. This is just self-esteem versus insecurity. This is either you care about what the people on the other side of this camera say or you don't. It's very tough for me to say 2 sentences that are going to unwind the way your parents and your environment treated you when you were a child. However, my one thing would be, you're either going to be 80 years old and regret the way you lived your life or not. And so the thing that I try to do when I communicate is put things into a very macro discussion. And I challenge people to explain to me what they're scared of, because it's fear. And I think when people start trying to explain it, they struggle to come up with good answers. And it always comes back to mommy and daddy, older brother, older sister, or some life event that happened in the first 15 years of their life. There are really 6 or 7 basic reasons why somebody doesn't have enough confidence to put themselves out there. I think once they put it out there in words or written down, miraculously it becomes a little bit easier when you get the poison out of your body. So I would challenge people, whether they need to go see a psychiatrist, write it down, something else. The quicker you can say out loud the truth of why you're insecure, the quicker you can get to getting over it.
Wow. And what are some of the books do you read?
I don't read.
And
I don't. And you know, a lot of people, sometimes people get mad at me because I write a lot of books. Everybody learns different. You know, I think I was never classified dyslexic, but I can tell you right now, I barely retain anything when I read. Like barely. But if I hang out with Sam for 4 minutes, I'll know everything about him. So you've got to bet on what you're good at. And so I don't read, but I think people should if they learn that way.
yeah, last question. So can you give someone who is striking out, a lady who is striking out on her own, an advice?
One life. One life. Like, I would highly recommend every woman watching this right now to go to a retirement home and spend an afternoon with people that are 90 years old, and what you will see in their eyes is regret, and it will scare you shitless to not go and try to do your thing.
Wow. Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you.